First of all, I wanted to say welcome to this video and welcome to this interview with Cristian. Me and Cristian have been working for the past 8 weeks together, where I've helped him with his internal world and changing limiting beliefs, getting rid of fears, blocks, all this, so he could scale his company, where he helps online coaches or online entrepreneurs in the info space in general with scaling through Instagram and YouTube. So if there's anyone that could use that, well, I'll leave his link in the description to his Instagram, and you can contact him here. But first of all, I wanted to thank you, Cristian, for being on the call today, and I appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks for, first of all, reaching out to me in the first place 8 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I was in I knew I needed something like this. And just before I spoke with you, like 1 or 2 weeks ago, I was on a call with a guy that was extremely like pushy, and I was feeling like I need help with this. Like I realized by speaking with that guy that I needed help with this, but I didn't want my coach to be so aggressive, you know?
No.
So yeah, you sent me that message, that cold message on Instagram, and I said, yeah, fuck it, let's go. You know, that's the background of how me and you, like, things are aligned properly. You know, I was looking for that, and then you messaged me, and I was like, yeah, that's it. I have to go for it. Let's see
Absolutely.
How it is.
Cool.
Yeah.
And where were you at personally and professionally before we started?
I think personally and professionally, like, I don't think there are two separate things. I think they're coming together. I think personally I was very beat down, to be honest. I was in a very low point. I feel like the last 6 years, the downward spiral was going there, if that makes sense, you know. And I realized, because I purchased many programs or consulting offers or mentorships from different big guys in the industry, like probably from the biggest guys that you know or your audience knows. And as I was purchasing these products, I realized that, I think I even told you last time when we spoke 2 days ago, I realized that I knew everything that they were teaching me. Like, there was nothing new for me.
No.
But I was lacking the belief in myself. So I was basically, as someone said, I heard this saying somewhere else, I was outsourcing my responsibility and belief in myself onto others. And then when things weren't working out, I was blaming them instead of me, if that makes sense.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So because of this lack of responsibility, I was keep going down, you know, financially, morally, with my hope as well. So that's kind of where I was, if I remember. I mean, I remember really well. Yeah.
Got it. Cool. And how did the program challenge your old beliefs and habits?
I don't necessarily think you challenge them. I think you just stop them completely. You know, I mean, when I hear challenge, I mean, there is a fight between two different opinions, worldviews, but there was no fight. It was more like a replacement.
Okay.
You know, so that's how I would describe it the best.
Yeah.
I simply, I think after the first session, I don't remember exactly when I was telling you, but I think after the first or second session, I was like telling you about my spikes in my emotions during the day.
Yeah.
So before, I used to like be very flatline, like most people, I assume, but then something happens and then I spike negatively.
Yeah.
And then I just keep going down the route. And I question everything that I'm doing and whatever. But after the second session, I used to blip down and then go back up and then slowly blip up, if that makes sense,
Yes.
So that's how I described it to you.
Okay, cool, amazing, that's good.
Yeah.
And what specific results have you achieved since we started working together until now?
Specific results. Well, right now I signed a couple more clients, and it's not like I think everyone that is watching this video wants to know that if they pay you, like next day they'll make 50,000 or 100,000, and for sure for some people that can definitely happen because there's also the background that you have for that to happen, right?
Of course.
But I know that I will have great results in the next 3 months, 6 months.
Yeah.
Specifically, I started trusting my systems.
Yes.
I started taking action on my systems quite a lot. I'm not emotionally invested in the outcomes of my systems, and I can keep building the machine that's going to get me more clients and is going to get me to my dream state.
Yes.
More specific than that, signed new clients. One of them is the coach of Conor McGregor. I told you about this.
Yes.
And I know he's going to be a great client. And then from this great client, I'll be getting 20, 50 other great clients. So that's kind of how I see things. It's not like, oh yeah, I spoke with you, I made $1 million. Like, it's kind of probably for some people it will happen. Like obviously we have higher caliber clients in the future, where that will be the case. For me, what I wanted was really to trust myself again and gain that confidence, that arrogance, that belief in myself, because that has the highest ROI. So I feel like I gained that.
Good.
Yeah.
And that's also why I asked the question, what specific results have you achieved since joining? And that's obviously just you mentioning what you have experienced and not leading you anywhere, because this interview is just as raw and honest as possible. And there is no reason to just say, oh, I did $1 million without actually doing it.
Of course. Yeah.
And the good thing is that you have been progressing so much with yourself, and the conviction that you now have going into the future, being able to actually scale the company and deliver your clients results, and also scale your own company and going further into your desired reality in terms of that. So obviously this is a stepping stone to what is going to come in the next months, in the next years, in terms of this.
For me, this is like the biggest stepping point, because everything else comes out of this,
Yeah.
I mean, every big river starts from like a crack in a mountain, right?
Yes.
So that's kind of how I see it. Without this, even when I choose my clients, if someone from the street comes to me and says, hey, can you help me make $50,000 per month? I'll be like, no. Like that, like I need to work with, with this client that I told you about. I know, like, I can make him a lot of money because he has a background, same with me. That confidence is that background that I needed to find again, to be able to get to the numbers that I want to get, so
exactly.
Without that confidence and that belief and that ability to be like impartial or flatline, ideally you need to be flatline every day, not spike up or down, if that makes sense. Because there is this assumption that people have, is that I need to be happy or hyped up the whole day to be able to grow my business, which is absolutely wrong in my opinion.
Yes,
the ideal state is flat. So you don't want to be negative and you don't want to be ultra positive either, because it's equally bad,
Exactly.
So yeah, I feel like I gained that balance, which is the flat line.
Yes.
And the level of the flat line is higher, if that makes sense.
Exactly. You've gained the consistency in order for you to actually do the things that you knew you needed to do, but now are at a different frequency, at a different vibration, which allows you to do these actions now and take these steps and take these leaps of faith, so to say, in terms of going upwards and going further and further, because now it's kind of like that you are trusting yourself, and now the universe also trusts you to actually give to you what you already have within you, but what you actually didn't feel like you had before, and therefore it was kind of like a want, and you then distancing yourself from the actual goal and the desired reality, and you weren't able to live there as often before. And now it's just like, okay, now you know you have everything within you, Cristian, and now it's just feeling it more and more, and knowing that you have everything within you in order to actually get more of the desired result that you want in the end, and the desired reality for you.
Yeah, because when we met, I think I told you I wasn't even able to close my eyes and picture myself as making a shit ton of money like I used to do, you know.
Yes.
It was like almost impossible.
Yeah.
Actually, not almost, it was impossible. I just couldn't do it, you know. It was like blocked.
Yeah.
But then after we started working together, like I was able to like start to see it, you know, to see glimpse of that.
Yes.
Which was massive for me, because I know I personally discovered the mental rehearsal and visualization when I was very young, like when I was 5-6 years old.
Yeah.
And then I only found out that this is a real thing like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Because I became an artist, you know, a painter, drawing, sculpting. Then I was making music. Then I was a programmer. Then I was doing latte art, and I was a head barista. These were my careers before.
Yeah.
And the reason why I got so good at all of those was because I was doing mental rehearsing all the time. Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't practicing at all, but I was doing mental rehearsals. And for the past, I don't know, 2 years, I lost that ability to do that rehearsal, you know, because it was simply blocked. And now I'm able to do it, you know. Maybe
Yeah.
not as perfect, because I'm not as intentional with it as I used to be before.
No.
But I can do it again, you know. It's not blocked like it used to be.
Exactly. We removed a lot of layers in your mind and in your brain of you being able to do that now. And that is a very, very good actual progress that you've made from that point where you came from to now knowing exactly what it looks like with your desired reality, and you having more clarity about that. Because whenever you have this clarity around where you want to go, then it's so much easier to get there, because now you actually have an idea where is it that you are going, what needs to happen, and all this stuff in order to be there and do the action and become the identity of someone who already has exactly what your desired reality has.
Yeah,
Cool.
exactly.
And how did you feel about hypnosis or mindset work before, and how do you feel about it now?
I was always very open to it. I've tried a few things before.
Yeah.
I was always open about it. You know, I was never like, oh, this doesn't work. You know, and probably there are some people who say that.
Yeah.
Which, like, my point of view is to never judge anything until you like try it, right? So I wasn't against it at all. You know, I tried it a few times, and a few times it worked, and a few times it didn't. So
Yeah.
that's kind of how I am with that. That's my perspective on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. And what surprised you most about the process or your own transformation in these 8 weeks?
I wasn't expecting it to work that fast, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know? So I was surprised by, sometimes you want something, but you get something else, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, I wanted to make the $1 million right after I finished with you, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
But what I got was more valuable, So
Yeah.
that's kind of how I see it. Yeah, I gained what I wanted.
Good.
I was surprised by how it felt. I would say I'm feeling lighter. I would say so. Like feeling lighter is the feeling that I got, which
Yeah.
is what I really needed. If that makes sense.
Yes. Makes a lot of sense. Cool. And how do you feel about your future now compared to before we started?
Well, I'm feeling optimistic, and I'm trying to look at the things that I should be doing that I don't feel like doing, if that makes sense. So I'm trying to look at, am I doing or not doing this? Or how can I phrase this? Am I not doing this because I'm a lazy piece of shit, or because I have to give it to someone else to do it for me? I don't know how to explain it better than that. So for example, now we are doing like cold outreach, right? And I have this guy that is running the thing for me in the background, and I can see him missing out on like follow-ups and this and that. I already paid him for a month, so he has 3 more days anyway. But after that, I'm gonna be like, okay, let me do this myself, this boring task, and then I'm gonna give it to someone else. Just I don't want to get rid of it right away because I fucking hate doing it.
Yeah.
Sorry for swearing. But first, let me do it. Let me try to understand it.
Yeah.
Let me do it properly, and then give it to someone else. Not just get rid of it because I don't want to do it and it's boring.
No.
If that makes sense.
Yes. So you are taking care of yourself.
A responsibility, as we were talking before, right?
Yes, exactly. You're looking inwards before you're looking outwards. And that's a very good realization, and something that is good to take with you into the future, because that's also what the identity of you having your desired reality would do, is take responsibility for the situations that you're in right now, because everything is just cause and effect. So obviously every effect has its cause, and obviously every cause has its effect. So it's either way, and you cannot change necessarily the effects with the effects. You have to actually go into the root cause of the thing that made it happen in the first place. And that was, if we're being honest, you being a leader to a certain person, which you forgot to lead yourself to start with. And now it's you being able to lead from the front and not from the back, so to say.
Yeah, because whenever I work with a client, they all they're all happy. They're all getting results.
Yeah.
I trust myself that I can crack their problem, if that makes sense. Most of them want to renew, or they are asking me if they can renew. So that means I'm doing a good job.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh shit, I know all these things that I have to tell them to do, so I should do them myself, especially the way I think about it. Another thing that I learned is to not compare myself with others, not compare my results or my clients' results with others, because we live in this marketing world, and everyone is sharing the top 0.01% result.
Yeah.
And especially in my niche, like my competitors, I know their numbers and I look at their testimonials. And if a guy makes $500,000 a month and shares one testimonial a month, that's a pretty bad success rate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm trying not to look at those guys, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, how can I get more of those $490,000, the clients that paid that amount? How can I get those to come at the top? And I'm thinking something that I realized is, how can I, instead of me being some dude that chases after some quick cash and some quick clients, how can I become the guy that creates the next gurus in their specific industries?
Yeah.
Because that's going to be my biggest leverage if I want to become great in this consulting space. You know what I mean? Not just scrape for some clients, but how can I take this guy that is here? Sure, he has like 100,000 followers, but how can I make him the go-to guy for that thing? Because if I'm behind that guy, then I'll get bigger. You know, that's how I'm thinking. You know,
absolutely, that's good thinking. Cool. So, if you could sum up your experience in one word or sentence, what would it be?
Amazing, life-changing. Happy that I answered the DM. You know, there are, like, I'm really happy. You know, I don't know how long that spiral down would keep going. And I'm happy, not just that I stopped it, but I'm able to go up. The trend is going up, you know. So that's how I can summarize the last 8 weeks. You know,
cool.
I think I only did the first 2 weeks, to be honest, and the rest were extra. But after that, just boom, up.
Yes, exactly.
Especially we had the one-on-ones where you asked me about this, about that, about my strategy, what I've been up to. I think that allowed me to trust the hypnosis more. I'm not sure if that's the technique, but now when I look back at it, with the other guys that I've tried hypnosis, it was more like a quick, okay, let's do this kind of thing. You know, let's jump on and do this. But I guess probably me speaking with you for 15 minutes before the last 10 minutes where we do the hypnosis, that allowed me to trust the suggestions that came after. I guess I'm not sure if that's your technique or that happened naturally, but if I try to dissect what happened, I think that's the reason why it worked.
Yeah, absolutely. Makes a lot of sense.
You did it on purpose? You did it on purpose or no?
No, I didn't do it on purpose. Obviously, there is a pre-frame to the actual hypnosis, but usually it's not 50 minutes before, but it's just the ability for me to be accountable to someone as well, because obviously when I'm working with someone, it's a partnership, so it goes both ways. And the more I'm accountable to the person that I'm helping, the more accountable they will also be to themselves, because they are actually held to certain standards, because I'm actually pushing them a little bit in the right direction and making sure that they actually do it. And that's also the thing, is that whenever I am keeping you accountable and honest with you, it will also allow you to feel the suggestions that I give you during the hypnosis a little bit better. If I just were to give it on an audio recording, for example, and you haven't listened to me before, you not knowing who I am, how I'm showing up, what I'm delivering, what I do, all this
makes sense.
Because you feel more safe and you feel more open whenever it's just a conversation that you're having and you're opening up to the person sitting in front of you, and just without any judgment. Because the less judgment and the more freely you can just speak, the more you're speaking from your subconscious, and your subconscious is where everything happens and where everything needs to be changed, not the conscious.
100%. Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
Great. So, Cristian, is there anything else you'd like to share about your journey or the impact this has had on you just here at the end?
I would say it sounds woo-woo, right? But if you really think about it, like as an entrepreneur or high performer, athlete, like everything starts from your mind, like the way you approach the day or the way you think about creating a system or a marketing campaign or applying the fundamentals of, let's say, marketing, because I'm in entrepreneurship or sales or product delivery or product building. Everything sits on how you perceive the world, right? Your mindset. Again, it's like, oh, you need to have a good mindset, bro. And nobody really explains what a good mindset is or what mindset means. But it's like your perspective on the world. Is the window that you look through. So you can put, if I'm looking at this laptop like this, I'm gonna see one image. But if I put sunglasses on, I'm gonna see a darker image, right? Or I can put blue light glasses, I'm gonna see a different type of image. So if your mindset is clouded, if you are always worried, or if you are too happy, right? I don't think that's the case for people, because humans like misery. That's the reason why we exist, because we love misery. But if you are too negative and you're not flatlined, you will always make rash decisions, bad decisions, impulse buys. You'll do things that you shouldn't do just because you wanted to cover a hole in your life. So you need to fix this ASAP, or you need to fix it ASAP, and you need to give this a shot, especially if you're at a higher level where you've tried everything. Well, the only thing that you haven't tried is probably this, So they should try this. That's how I see it.
Makes sense. Cool. Well, thank you again, Cristian, for taking the time. I'll leave your Instagram in the comment section, and if people want to reach out to you and work with you, they can do that. Other than that, that was everything for this interview with Cristian. It's been amazing to see his transformation and see the results that he has been experiencing with this program. And I'll leave you everyone to it, and see you next time.